Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the live show. Let's slice and dice right through these charts and see what's going to be popping tomorrow and next week, more importantly. Tomorrow's just a Friday, but you know what happened? The dock workers union agreed to suspend that strike until about January 15th, I believe. And I'm not sure if they are getting more money in the meantime. I didn't exactly look, but I know that that's being suspended, so that's a good thing. There's one thing down, so we'll have to keep our eye, obviously, on the Middle East tensions, and oil has been soaring since that happened. So let's get started and see what's going on in the market, and hope everybody had a great day. So here we go. All information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not intended as financial advice, so always do your due diligence. How is everybody? Laptop Travel, RD, Joe P, stocks in play, Arosa, Stonky Stonks 8520, and Luis Rodriguez. How are we this evening? I hope everybody's doing well, and I think the market's going to be doing real well, even though we had these little dips here. I should have stuck with my original gut feeling of they were going to pull back, because then I changed my mind. What, Wednesday morning they pull back, so I should have just said that they were going to pull back. I remember I was like, they need to pull back, they need to pull back, and then they just tricked me the other day. But here we go, or Tuesday morning, whichever morning it was. And here we go. So let's dive into these bad boys and see what's going on. And again, that dock workers strikes not is suspended until January 15th. So that's a big deal. We don't have to worry about that until pretty much after the election and after the next president's going to be in, I'm pretty sure. So right around there. So that's pretty crazy. So here we go. Let's get started and see what's going on with our Buru. That was moving today, wasn't it? It was in the after hours anyway. It was down a little bit today, and then it started cruising in the after hours. It went up 17 cents right there, and I would assume that it's going to continue to try to run in the morning. I'm going to have to look at Buru on my chart, because it did run up and it looks solid. So that's going to be a momentum play in the morning, and we've been talking about that one. And how about Elab? KXIN and PEGY, all three of them were running that we were looking at. Let's check out Elab and check that out real quick, because that was on our laptop lowdowns, and that popped up really nice today. What, it got up to over 17 cents there. Elab, let me see on mine. Its high was 18 cents. It opened at 9, and that was the low. It's sitting at 11, and it's still curling up, looking pretty decent there. So it did jump up, and it is hooking up there. Let's see if it has a little bit of pullback tomorrow as it tries to get closer to the line, and it will be a Friday, so it did pull back a cent in the after hours. We'll see how it opens tomorrow. Obviously, if it's green, it's going to be moving, but I have a feeling it's going to be kind of pulling back right there and then setting up again for that 20 to come down. But we'll see if it tries to base out up here. That would be really nice for it. And that is ELAB. KXIN. Let's look at that bad boy, because that one we were looking at, and that one was running some more today. It got up to what, like 45 cents, over 45 cents. It's at 35 in the after hours. It closed at 44. And let me look at this on my end, because it did obviously dip down. 37 right there. It ran up to 46, opened at 31, and it doesn't even look that bad, to be completely honest. It just kind of ran up there in the top for like the third time almost, well, at least the second time fully in the top, and the first time it just got right to the top. So I would have to assume that it might be done, and this is another China one that's been running. So I would keep your eye on that to try to pull back, if anything. Don't get caught chasing KXIN, and that's like a 2 day runner. You don't see them very often. And how about that PEGY? That shot up this morning as well. And again, they don't stay up very long. So PEGY was up to 21 cents today. It opened at 12. That was the low, and it closed at 13. So only a penny over where it opened, and it jumped up to 21 cents this morning. It was cruising. And again, never even got out of the basement, just kind of curled up there and could easily pull back. But remember what I was saying, in the right spot right there, and it did jump up. So even if you got it like right there when I first said it on the 27th, it was at 13 cents. cents, and it still ran up to 20 something cents there, 21. So you were really safe anyway. And again, yesterday we really liked it yesterday, and it was down at like the 11 cent area. So it really ran up there nice. And that was PEGY, that Pineapple Energy. So we'll have to watch for that to kind of get set up again, I think. But there you go. There was just a couple of runners. How about HKD? We looked at that as well and even said it was a momentum play, and bam, it was a momentum play, all right. And I know Jennifer Lee was looking at it. She's the one that brought it up. And I'm telling you, I was looking at it the day before. Did not think it was going to run up yesterday like that in the after hours, but did think it was going to run up today. I even said it, and bam, there you go. And it ran up pretty nice, well over that 550. What did it even get up to? I forget. HKD, it got up to 580. Its low is 413, and it closed at 511. So there you go with HKD. And I would assume that one's going to come out of the top and pull back, but it is setting up really bullish down there again as it will pull back. So we'll have to keep our eye on that bad boy as well. And that was HKD, and that one ran. So lots and lots of poppers, just like we said were going to happen. And the penny stocks, the China ones, boom, boom. You can see what's happening, and let these big caps, our Mag 7s, just kind of set up as they pull back. I thought they needed to, and when they get set up, it's going to be blast off for them, and everything's going to should start moving. So hopefully that's the way it looks. Crypto, we'll take a look at that. Obviously, it was pulling back, but Bitcoin might be basing out, and we'll go through that more in detail in a little bit. But let's keep on cruising through our list right here since we have plenty of them to look at. And here we go. And Laptop Travel actually put a link for to sign up for Web Bull, and you get free shares. I don't think he gets anything, and I think I might have to jump on with him and start hopping on at 4 a.m. and having a little fun because we clearly see which ones are going to run. We know, and they are popping at 4. Literally, you can get up at 4 a.m., go back to sleep probably by 5 a.m., and then wake up at like 6:30. So if you really wanted to, I mean, they're running that fast. It's insane what they're doing at 4 a.m. And I do see it. So I think I just don't have a Webbull account, but I think it's time to sign up for one. So there we go with that, and I just reposted the link. And like I said, Laptop Travel, I don't think even gets anything. There's free shares involved. Just check it out. I didn't really read it, but I know he posted the links before, and it's just a referral to sign up for Webbull and get some free shares. So there you go with that. And let's look at AUST. AUST Austin Gold up 18 cents. Another one I was saying was going to run. And this one, I mean, it's set up even more bullish, and it just has straight momentum up there at 145, getting in the top. And this is obviously a gold company, and gold is looking real good right now. So it's running up there, and it looks like, check it out in the morning. It could be another momentum play. I mean, it shot up today. It opened at 129. It got up to 145, and that's where it's sitting. And it came down 5 cents in the after hours, is what it said. Let me look on mine. AUST at 139. Yeah, but I mean, it looks solid to continue trying to go up there. AUST, that's Austin Gold. And we did PEGY, PEGY. How about that yin? Holy cow, that thing. Way, way, way up there, isn't it? It's way up there. And I have a feeling it's gonna have to come down pretty soon. I mean, it's run up to the top 3 times. They don't run up that much. And so let's see when that wants to come down, because obviously our yang down there will want to come up, and that's the one we want to look at. So look at that yang, unless you're a big shorter, and then you're going to want to look at the yin. But yang getting set up down there. It's in the basement, obviously. The 20's way up here. I mean, it's way up at $6. And that's only because this thing was literally, it usually trades up in the eights. And then obviously when it started coming down back here on what day, the 19th, September 19th, it got into the sevens, and now it's in the threes. And it was yesterday, what did it get down to? 298 it touched down to yesterday. And where was that today? Yesterday it got down to 285. I'm sorry, it got down to 285. Today it got to 298. So it got under three. Again, it's sitting at 306. And yeah, just wait for this bad boy. It doesn't even show that it wants to exactly it doesn't show exactly wants to bounce yet, but it's trying to set up down there. So the yin may have that run tomorrow or finish it up there in the at the top, and we'll keep an eye and we'll definitely look at these bad boys in the morning because there are going to be some good plays right there. Honestly, you'll be able to play them both whichever way you want. You know the yang's going up and the yin's coming down, so just wait for that signal and we'll hit them. So GWAV, let's look at that. Greenwave Technologies. I know we looked at it before. It was on the list. It actually ran up the other day. It got in a perfect spot on September 30th. I actually saw it and forgot to mention it. I didn't see it beforehand. I just saw the day that it actually popped up, and then I looked at the chart and went, "Yep, that was perfect." And I meant to just tell you is that it did pop up. We had been looking at this bad boy, but obviously it'd come down. We had caught a pop on it before, and then it was just kind of running down there. It's down in the 39 cent area, but now it's trying to roll off that MACD and off the bottom right there, and that 20 is coming right down for it. It's at 40 cents, and this thing's at 39, so it's a penny away, and it's looking pretty good. GWAV, and that is Green Wave something. Hold on, I'm just typing it in here. Um, Green Wave Technology Solutions. I was just bringing it up on the other charts, and yeah, I'm telling you, this one looks pretty nice. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention, and it was one that we were looking at before, and it is setting up again. So and it ran up the other day on that 30th up to like 46 cents. It's at 39. I think when it starts moving, it's going to get higher than that this time. So we'll just keep an eye. And like I said, I think it tries to jump up. It could even jump up in the morning there. So, but probably next week. But keep an eye on it in the morning and just see if it wants to get moving, and you'll know where it wants to go up. So, BTCT, that's at BTC Digital. It was up 5 cents, and this one is setting up in a really good spot. I'm telling you, it wants to roll off that MACD and get cruising. So. I like it right there. BTCT has the 20 under it, has a little resistance at 174, but I have a feeling all three of these are going to try to meet up, and this thing's going to go bouncing pretty hard. And it's a China stock, so we already know they've been moving. So keep your eye on that BTCT, and that's one I brought up the other day, and we've been looking at it probably for a week or two, but it looks good. LUXH, a U.S. lodging one that people are looking at, and we were looking at this before, and we had that run go up the other day on, well, not the other day, the other week on September 24th. It went up to 9 cents. It's sitting back at 8 again. Um, it ran up to 10 cents. I was gonna say it ran up a little higher than 9. I remember this bad boy as well. LUXH, Lux Urban Hotels, and it is setting up really nice right now. It did jump up over that 20. It's curling up. It's rolling off the MACD. Your 50's at like 0.0886. It's sitting at point 0.80 or 0.0824 in the after hours. And again, you got to get to like 0.80870, say. And no, up higher than that. I'm sorry that the thing moved. It was point zero, holy cow, 0.0884. And that's where your 50 is. And that's where it's going to get to and hit. But this one may actually keep momentum and keep running through it. So LUXH does look really good. And I know a few people asked to see it tonight. So there you go. And I think it does look solid for tomorrow morning. So keep your eye on that bad boy as well, because it is looking good right there. WULF. Holy, I don't know what's going on with my brain. Can't read anything. WULF is that TerraWolf, and this one was a capital market. I think this has to do with crypto as well. I remember saying that. Just looking down, but I'm pretty sure. Let's just look at the chart because that's what we care about. It's at 471. It came down 20 cents in the after hours, but it went up 35 cents today and then down 20 in the after hours. It is setting up to be bullish, like really bullish there. But unless I don't know if it's gonna make that hard curl up. It's an interesting. Let me see on the Mayan what it did in the after hours here. WULF. Yeah, it seems that it wants to kind of pull back a hair and bounce off that MACD. I don't see why it would want to get through it that fast right there. Um I mean, anything's possible, but I think it has to pull back a little bit tomorrow. WULF, that Terra Wolf. But this one's setting up to be pretty damn bullish, probably like a week or two out. And again, we'll have to look at crypto. I think this has to do a lot with crypto. I was looking at it and they did look like they were trying to base out there. So we'll keep an eye on this. It is setting up bullish. And even tomorrow it could try to bounce up, but I just think it hits that MACD and bounces down. So we'll take a little look at WULF and see what it wants to do, and then we'll watch it for a week or two out. PETS, Pet Med Express. This was up 24 cents today, and it was moving and it was set up super bullish. It got into the top. Honestly, it might be a momentum play right there in the morning. I would think it might be. So look at it, web bowlers early because PETS, it was at 413. Like I said, it got up to 419 and it came down to what 406 in the after hours. Let me get a better look on mine just to get the exact look. PETS in the after hours here, and it did close at 413 and it did get up to 419. And yeah, it does look good. This said it when came down to 406, but mine says it's at 413, so not sure. And but it still looks pretty solid to try to run up in the morning. So keep your eye on that. It was super bullish and it looked good. And it had that resistance right there at 401 and it made it its support. At least it's trying to. So keep your eye on PETS in the morning to try to move some more. MLGO up another 4 cents today. And we kind of knew this one was running, didn't we? And I know a lot of people were happy about this bad boy. It did run up to like 42 cents. And let's see if it still has some legs to get moving tomorrow some more. So that's what's important on MLGO because we already knew where the bottom was. And I know a lot of people jumped in and they are excited about it. So let's make sure that it's going to keep on going up and the excitement can continue. Let's just see. It did just kind of it can roll up to like that 50 cent area. Even that 50 area is not even bad for it. It got up to 48 was its high today. It looked like it was trying to pull back. It opened at 37, it closed at 32. So it did close a little lower than it opened up, it says. But I mean it's shot up there too, but it's not even nowhere near the top. We'll have to see how it may just be a pullback for tomorrow and then or even shoot up like pre-market, like you 4 o'clock web bowlers, MLGO could shoot up pre-market and then start to come down tomorrow. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. And Laptop Travel is saying we are seeing weakness in the yen, possibly signaling that traders are tired and discouraged with the fake China stimulus announcement. I'm hearing it's more talk than walk. Yang should be on your scanners for a reversal. So there you go. And I agree. That's what the chart looks like to me. And you know I talk charts and I know Laptop Travel does talk a lot of stocks and he is over there often on that side of the world. So he would definitely know. And so yeah, it does. I'm telling you, that thing we definitely want to play it because I mean you're talking huge jumps right there. And like I said 2 weeks ago, when I said that the China stocks were setting up, and they certainly did for some reason. And there you go, they got that stimulus thing or whatever happened, and yeah, they got pumped up, and they look like they could come right back down. So, and anything that runs up like that, I mean, you just kind of see that they're going to come back down. I mean, they run up so fast, so hard that they don't have a choice but to come back down. That's kind of MLGO kind of did it, but again, could have that momentum in the morning. So just keep an eye on it. I mean, it doesn't look terrible, but it doesn't look like it really has that momentum to go. So see what it looks like in the morning. And again, early in the morning, obviously, if it's moving green, then it wants to try to bounce up a little higher, but if it's a little bit red, you don't want to mess with it because it's probably going to be pulling back on you. And that's MLGO, and we caught the bottom of that bad boy as well. How about WDC Western Digital Corp? If I could just read the tickers tonight, I'd be okay. WDC Western Digital Corp down or up 6 cents and up 19 in the after hours at 66.77. And I said it was down because it was coming down for the last few days, and I was looking at that, and then today it was actually up, but that's why I said that. But it was coming down to the 20, which was perfect, and that's why I was laughing because I was looking at it come down, and I said it. Yeah, I can't trick my brain, huh? I can't jump ahead. But anyway, here this thing's the 20's coming up on it right there. It's coming down hard on that MACD. Let me take a look at it and see what it did in the after hours. Oh yeah, I thought so. I was gonna say I should have said it before I clicked on there, but anyway, I already clicked a no. I was gonna say if I had to guess, it would roll off the MACD. It was coming down hard on the FinViz. I mean, harder than you wanted to, really. But then it kind of took a soft landing in the after hours. So, and it was up 19 cents. So it kind of was a little giveaway. But yeah, it did have a little soft landing there. And it appears, I mean, that it wants to roll off there and go up. So keep your eye on this in the morning as well to try to move. Had almost 4 million in volume, had like 3.9 million in volume. WDC. I ain't never even heard of it, I don't think. So there you go. And it's down in the 66.58s, but it was way down in August. It was way down in the 60s, but before that, in the middle of July, it was in the 80s. So it's a stock that can run up a little bit more and it has a little room in front of it. So WDC right there. Let's take a look at PW Power Ret. Up 90 cents today. Wow, up to $1.80 and then some more. This one blasted off from like 80 cents. This one came out of nowhere. Well, the real estate ones are flying, especially the China real estates. But you know what? If we had been looking at PW, I don't think we ever looked at this one, not that I know of. And it's on the Amex. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It jumped up right there on the 20 and it just smoked it up into the right into the top line. So could be a momentum play in the morning, guys, because I mean it has momentum in the after hours as well. I could see it continuing up there, but I don't know how long it'll stay up there. But for sure at 4 a.m. and you know if it's moving over 193, you're probably going to catch a pop on it. So play it accordingly, but make sure you're out quick because PW will probably come back down, but it looks like a momentum play for you guys. And that is PW, VTNR. Vertex Energy down a little bit, like 2.5%, up at 1.5 in the after hours, 1.5%. And this one's having that curl up. It's just running that bottom right there. It's not ready tomorrow, but definitely one we want to keep an eye on for next week, it looks like. And it is an oil and gas refining one, so it is trying to set up. I mean, it came way down. It was on September 24th. It's high was 37 and a half. We're looking at it at 11 cents right now. So it did come way down and the 20 is at coming down for it and it's at 28 cents. So it still has quite a ways, but I think we'll catch the pop as it curls up before the 20 comes down to it. So VTNR, we will catch that, but let's just look for that curl up and you know that it wants to run and we'll get that look and it'll be like 1 or 2 days before it hits that MACD line. We generally know it's right around there, and you can pretty much kind of tell when it's going to run. And we've been picking them out like crazy. So VTNR, that's all we have to look for on that one. EDBL is that old edible one, edible garden AG. Down a cent. We looked at this yesterday, and it was just pulling back. We're just waiting for it. So let's just see how long it's going to be. The 20 is at 70. This is at 20 cents, and it's in the basement. And we'll probably catch again the hook on it when it comes up. And probably not the 20 just yet, but we'll see when it wants to actually hook up next week. And that's EDBL, and we'll keep our eye on that one. So I'll definitely watch that bad boy. Oh yeah, TOVX. I know. I was like, what did I write? But I know what this one is. TOVX. Let's look at it because this one's starting to make that big old fish hook. And I mean, it just made a like a hook, not even a hook. It just made a little line over, just kind of stepped over to the right a little bit and came out of the basement. And I'm surprised it came out of the basement, but it did pop up today and it popped up really nice. more or less this morning. TOVX, it got up to 204. It opened at 116, so it did get cruising. And again, it is trying to crawl up there. What it do in the after hours? It closed at 163, so it did close up. And I don't know. FinViz is telling me it's 179 and it closed at 170, but I kind of knew it wasn't there because I was looking at it on stock chart. So I don't know what's going on with FinViz lately. It's kind of bizarre. And it is the elite, so it should be definitely on point, and it isn't. But anyway, that's what it is. But there's our prices for TOVX, and again, it's just trying to crawl. It came out of the basement. It has that hard line at 210. It got close to it today, but and it bounced down. Watch for it, I think, to just kind of pull back around that bottom line as it sets up. But I think it is going to try to get moving really soon here. So we'll see what happens again. 163 right there. Right back down there. And yeah, we'll have to see. Like I said, I think it's just gonna it popped out of the basement. We know they pop out of the basement or crawl through the MACD, and this one's not even close yet. So but it popped out of the basement, and we know it's gonna pretty much hit a fake wall right there. It's not even up to it yet. Maybe it did get up to it. 204. It was pretty close to it actually. Again, it was like at 210, so close enough, and it'll pull back, set up, and we'll watch it. So TOVX, I'll check it out in the morning. We'll just look at it, see if it is trying to do anything, but it looks like it wants to pull back to set up. RZLV, now that one was cruising up too, and I know it kind of pulled back a little. It was up 36 cents. Let me bring it up on mine. RZ. RZLV. You ready for this one? Because it looks good. And it jumped up today to 1080. I'm not sure what time it did it. It was either in the pre-market or in the after hours. I don't really remember. But it was moving. RZLV got up to 1080. Its low is 641 and it opened at 712 and it closed at 719. So it jumped up significantly and but it doesn't even look too bad. I mean, it's sitting right there, has all kinds of support lines and all kinds of stuff going on. I mean, it's an interesting chart to be honest with you. It almost looks like it was a shell company and then just picked up on July 26th is what it looks like to me. And when it did, it went right to the basement right there on that July 26th. And yeah, it still looks pretty decent. So have to keep an eye. I must say, though, overall, it has a bearish look. It just wants to pop around right now. So I'm not sure what's going on with it. Here, they had some news today. Multimedia update, Microsoft and Resolve AI partner to drive global retail innovation with AI-powered commerce solution. And Microsoft and Resolve AI partner, blah, 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 same thing. It says basically they released it at 8:30 and then another company released it at like 10:15 or they had like an update at 10:15. They probably just wanted to pump it out there again and I don't blame them. I mean, partner with Microsoft. So there you go. That's what they did. And that's why I said it wants to bounce around. So you partner with Microsoft for an AI thing, your stock will probably want to bounce around like I was saying. So just keep an eye on that tomorrow morning for a little bounce around. And then, like I said, it is almost in a bearish or bearish state. Like it wants to come back down, but it wants to pop around for a good couple days there, possibly. So just watch it and see if you want to play with that one. ADD Color Star Technology, down 60 cents. Wow, this one took a nice nosedive. We like these bad boys. And came down right to that support line at 43 cents. So that's nice. 41 in the after hours. Let me look at ADD. This one may have ADD tomorrow. Let's see. You might get a bounce off of this one tomorrow, to be honest. You might want to ADD this one to your list because it is right. I mean, what a nice dip right there. And it was kind of setting up. It looked like the October 1st was going to be its low at 84 and a half. And no way, it's at 45 cents right now and 41 in the after hours. 41 is underneath of the support line. So and that would be right to that bottom right there where it could easily bounce back. So I would definitely be looking at this one in the morning. ADD, check that one out in the morning. So it could have that little bounce. And if not, we'll watch it and watch how it sets up. INV, that's a shell company. I was gonna say something's up with this thing, and it jumped up like crazy today. What did it even do? It went up to like 1875. Yeah, this thing's just crazy. So I'm not sure if we would even have known this INV. Again, these shell companies are wild. It was just running kind of flat and just went nuts. I wonder if it did anything. I have no idea. No news. Well, yesterday, closing of a business combination, but yeah, did we even look at it? I don't remember, but this thing just blasted off, and I'm not sure it was that easy to see that one. So that was INV, and I'm not sure I'd play with it either because it does look like it could get to the top, but it's hitting that top line, and that kind of wick up like that all the way up that high, and then come way down is not something I would particularly want to mess with right there. So INV, it did shoot up if you had it today. I hope you traded that one smart. WHLR, that Wheeler Real Estate. Let's see what it's doing right here. And here we go. Let's see. It is trying to curl up, isn't it? It does look like it wants to make that hard curl up. Let's see. This in that position where they like to bounce back off, though, and it has that weird look. I'll tell you what, this one's interesting, and I know it jumped up yesterday and jumped up a little bit more today. Very interesting for tomorrow. I am not gonna lie. It is a very, very interesting look for tomorrow. I have to see this. Hold on. WHLR. Hold on. I mean, I can almost think that it's going to go through and run all the way up to the 23 area. What the high was 1881 around there. It looks good. Yo, guy, watch this one. WHLR. I know it's been running the last few days, but you might get one last little run. I mean, it has that weird look sitting on the 20 today, and it looks pretty nice to try to curl through. It curls through. It's going. It's gonna go bananas. So keep your eye on that bad boy for sure. WHLR, and it's been running up. We were looking at it as it split. I mean, split on September 20th. We were looking at it right before it or right after. I don't really remember, but I know we were right around it. And this thing's been running up. So there you go with WHLR. RVSN is that railroad one in Israel. It was down 1.5% and then up 5%. Looks like it's just kind of pulling back at the moment while it sets up. The 20 is actually way below it, trying to hook up to try to catch up to it. Let me take a better look at RVSN. RVSN, yeah, I mean, it looks like it wants to run up, but I don't know if it's going to fly up tomorrow, but it does look like it gradually wants to keep moving. And maybe even trade between that channel of, let's see if I can tell, about 45 cents and 55. So I would imagine it trying to pull back and just trade in between that channel, but we'll wait until the 50 or the 20 comes up and grabs it, and it'll probably take it right for a nice ride. So it did run up, and now it's kind of just pulling that base out move, pulling back slowly and waiting for it to just really set up. So we'll wait for that one, and it might even be next week, so we'll definitely be watching it. TCJH. Let's see what TCJH Top King win. I know we looked at this one before. It was down almost 3% and then up almost. This one was all the way at the top. I mean, has that weird look on it, and but nothing that I would try to mess with at this moment. It's way up there, but guess what? This is just another one that we were looking at that went flying. Didn't even keep an eye on it, but it's at 66. And I'm sure it was in the 30s when we were looking at a TCJH. So that's another China company. And I think if I remember correctly, John Wang brought this one in here, this TCJH one. And yeah, that's way up. That's probably 100%er from where we were looking at it. So there you go with that one. But again, it's all the way at the top. Looks like it's probably going to want to come down. So we won't want to mess with that. CHNR, let's see that guy, China Natural Resources down a penny, and We were looking at it yesterday. It ran up to 79. Its low is 72 and a half. It's at 78. Doesn't look too bad there. CHNR. Let me see. Maybe it does. Maybe it did run up to its top the other day. Right here, let me see. On the 30th, when it got up to that 92 cent area, that could have been its top right there. So, this one may pull back. We'll keep an eye. And this one's a Hong Kong pollution and treatment control. So we'll just watch that one, see if it is pulling back on us. What is that? BDMD. BDMD. Let's see it. This one's, do we just look at this one? Holy cow. It looks just like I don't even remember which one it was, but it was one that I said looked like a shell company, and I'm just looking back to see, and I don't remember, but it doesn't matter. Could have been INV maybe. But this one, it looks like it just picked up on the September 20th, and then it just came right down too. Well, right there it wasn't, but now it just came right down the last few days. I mean, it went right to the basement and straight down there. BDMD, a shell. It is a shell company. See that? It looked like one. And October 1st, some kind of acquisition completed. So all the way in the basement right there. What did it do on October 1st when it did that? Let's see. It's opened that's when it started dipping. So interesting for sure. I'm gonna pull it up on the other charts because this could be a nice bouncer right here. I mean, it almost looks like it wants to bounce. I don't see why it's even down like this. And we already know these shell companies are crazy. I mean, they're like China companies. They can just go wild at any moment. So let me just look. This one's not giving me any kind of look on it. All right. Well, stock charts is kind of useless for that, but that's all right. Let's look at it. I mean, it's way, guys, it's so far down. I can't imagine it staying down there much longer. I would look for a bounce. I mean, it looks like it wants to bounce back. So I'm gonna write it. Bounce up. Uh, BDMD. Yeah, I mean, way down there. I mean, just way, and just that look that it has way down there, and everything's obviously your 20 and all is going to be way up here because it just started dipping hard. But yeah, can't imagine that it doesn't want to bounce right there. So keep your eye on that one for a nice little bounce. Let's look at our cheetah because that was running today. It was up to like 24 and a half cents, if not a little higher. It's at 22 in the after hours. And let's see, it did jump up there. It started to hit, it got through the 50, through the 20, hit the 50 right there at its high, basically. And let's see what it was. It did curl through and it looks pretty good. I mean, the cheetah looks like it could continue to run. And there's another one that, we were looking at this before, but yeah, it does look pretty good. A little pullback right there at the end, maybe, but I don't see anything too bad with it. It did get up there in the right spot. It's just a matter of if it can keep itself up over that 23 cent area. That's what you're looking for Cheetah. It's right at 23, maybe a tad bit below it. It has to stay above it and it can really get rolling. And the 50 is like at 24, just a little higher than 24. So not much of a spread between them, but it has to get over 23. And if it can get over 24, it can really get running like a cheetah. So just keep your eye on it. Doesn't look bad still. I had that run up today. And keep your eye on CTNT for tomorrow. Let's see what else. KXIN we did. TANH, let's look at that. That was down a penny today and still doesn't look bad. Honestly, it just looked like some healthy pullback to me. The 20 and the 50 are trying to meet right there on TANH. And yeah, I think it looks pretty healthy to me. It looked like just some healthy pullback. I mean, nothing looked real bad on it. Let's just put it that way. Um, you have that support right there, that 18 cents, and we're sitting at 21 on TANH. Just a little pullback, like I said, but it looks healthy. That 20 is coming up on it. It's curled up and looks really nice to me right there. So I would keep an eye on that one. Another China company. It could just start get run. It could just start to run there. So we'll keep our eye on that one tomorrow morning as well. ADTX. I think this one's splitting. It is. It says it right here. Or it did yesterday. It split yesterday. So let's look at it because it didn't really run yesterday. And let's get a good look at this bad boy because it split today. And what's it say? It opened at 240 and came down to 180 and it closed at 194. ADTX. Let me take a look at mine. Um, oh yeah, it's just like right in that line right there after a split. That's a nice look right there. I could imagine this one trying to curl through, especially where it's at. Definitely watch this one tomorrow, guys. ADTX, just reverse split right there and is looking superb, I think. So reverse split and an asterisk right there because you want to see this one. We already know what they do after they reverse split. They like to bounce up. And it has that hard line right behind it. It's not like touching it, but it's enough behind it where it's good. Your 20's all the way at 12.95, so that's not coming down for it. But you have that hard support and that split, and it is curling up. So has three of the good looks on it. And again, that 20, as long as that 20 can be up there, as long as it has that hard line behind it, and it does, it's good to go. So watch it because it's good to go. FRGT. Freight Technologies was down 8 cents. This one recently split and ran that day and then started to pull back ever since. And it's still in the basement and it's hitting that line right now. And that day, actually, when it did run, it split. I know it was trying to curl up right before that. And the day it was trying to curl up a couple days before it split, it was trying to curl up and hit the MACD. It right before it hit it, it popped up and then it split a few days, trading days later. 1, 2, 3, 4 days later, trading days later, it split, and then it ran up that day, and then continued to pull back since then. Yesterday looks like it could have been its bottom at 145. It pulled back there, so I think tomorrow you might get through and actually try to start moving again. It doesn't have that support behind it, and it's 20s at 270, so. I'm not exactly 100% positive it's going to get through. And now I gotta see this real quick. Let's see if it did anything in the after hours. Oh, it's hitting that line really good, actually. I mean, it looks like it wants to get through, but it's looked like that before and pulled back. So I don't want to say it's going through yet because it could easily bounce back down off of that bad boy FRGT. So we'll watch it in the morning and just see. And and again, if you'd want to know that it's curling through for that run and not try to risk it right here because like I say, if it bounces down, it's going to go way down. So you would rather just have that momentum and know you're going up and catch that profit rather than take the risk of saying, "Oh, is it going to cross through?" And if it doesn't, it's going to get smacked down and I'm going to be in a loss situation and then I'm going to have to wait for a while and have money tied up. So right now, we're just waiting anyway for them to cross through just because you want to make sure. We've seen so many of them come up and just have this look. And again, a couple years ago, more than 4 years ago, it's a different scenario. So almost the entire market prior to these 4 years, it was a totally different scenario. So them ones you would have been looking at differently, but not now. You have to adapt to these market conditions, and we certainly have. And again, we know what the chart tells us, and we know what it wants to look like when it wants to move. So that's what we take into consideration on every chart and just factor everything in the market conditions, what it looks like, what it's telling us, and boom, that's what we look at. And we are pretty consistent here. So here we go. And again, nobody's going to pick them all, but we come pretty damn close to seeing every popper and getting pretty close to exactly when they're moving. I mean, you can tell we're this week has been pretty damn good, I have to say. Almost every day, almost 3 or 4 poppers a day that we were talking about the night before, and they're just moving. So we know to look now. I mean, it just took me last week to just kind of do a little research and bam. I mean, you can see that's all it took. And we can lock them in. So LGHL, just trading between that channel, not looking bad. I think it might just kind of run up, if anything, tomorrow up to like 24 cents, another 2 cents. It's running in between that, what, 24 there, and its low is 21. It ran it today, and it'll probably do it again tomorrow, and then next week try to get set up there for LGHL, and that's at Lion Group Holding. So we'll keep our eye on that. We have been LCTX Lineage Cell. We were looking at this as well. Well, this one's setting up really good. Just let this one. I don't think it's curling back down. Not in that look anyway. Let me see this one on mine real quick. Hold on. LCTX. Yeah, I mean, it's taken some crazy bounces off that MACD multiple times right there. I can't imagine it's crossing through right now, especially with that setup. Yeah, keep your eye on this one, LCTX. I'm going to mark that bad boy as well because that one's looking really good right there. So there you go with that, LCTX. And let's just see. Um, Oh yeah, aren't the Free Will just said that the China markets are on holiday and open again next week on Tuesday. So I'd imagine we could see a lot of volume and uh liquidity, yeah, pour back into China stocks that day. And so yeah, you're right. They do take like a week off or something. I don't know what it is that they do that for, but they like close for a week. I'm pretty sure Laptop Travel, I remember he mentioned it last week. I just don't remember what the reasoning was, but I'm pretty sure he even said what the reasoning was. I just don't remember. So, but yeah, they do close. So BLNK, let's check that one out. Joe P, let's look at it. Could move towards that 196. You're right. We've been looking at this. Asian Joe Lee definitely likes this one. It's always on the Joe Lee's jumpers, and it's fine with me. So I enjoy looking at it because you know why? We watched it run from the very top back to the bottom, get in the basement, come out of the basement, get back in the basement, and now it's just running. And now it's ready. And you know why it's ready? Because the 20 said it's ready. And so that's why it's ready to get cruising. So yeah, definitely keep your eye on that in the morning because it does want to move. And that is your BLNK. And it will definitely be on the Jolie's jumpers in the morning, but it should be because it's popping too as well tomorrow. So, and there's been a couple days it's jumped up and pull back, and it just wasn't ready, but now it is. And there you go, BLNK. There you go, Joe P. And I hope you trade that one smart as well. APLD, that is Applied Digital, and it was down 15 cents. You know what? I think this one's gonna have to pull back. It was way at the top, kind of like how I was saying the Mag 7, some of them big cappers were. And it's just making a base up there. I think it just has to pull back more on the chart. The 20 is down here at 676. I'm not saying it's getting down there. It did pull back on September 30th down to 730. So look for any dips around that area and see when it wants to come back to the MACD again to see what it wants to do right there. APLD. So there you go with that one as well. And let's just take a look and boom, there you go with them bad boys. Let's take a look at our crypto real quick and see what crypto is doing real fast because Bitcoin is now back at 61,000. And when I was looking at it earlier, I said, I think it wants to make that base at that 60,000 mark, which is beautiful because that's where your 50 and your 100 are. And they're getting really tight now and looking much better. So it did curl through. I think we're going to see a little hook up here, and I think we might see them start rolling. So Ethereum is back at 2,370 something dollars. And again, this one did come way down under the 50. It's curled down, but it looks like it's actually going to stop right there. And this is going to be its low, and it's going to roll back up. Solana's down at 138, came back down under the 50 as well. And I think Solana may just have to pull back just a hair more. Maybe today was its low. What did it get down to right there? Its low was 133 and it's at 138. It could be it's low right there. Maybe another day of dippage and then it'll try to turn back around. We will be coming up towards the weekend, so they haven't been running hardcore on the weekend. So it'll be interesting for that. And you know, I'll be watching it. Cardano wants to really turn around right there and try to crawl back up and get back to the 50 and get over it. So that one's trying to move. And Doge is trying to move also. It's at like 10 and a half. And let's look at our buddy Bonk and see what Bonk's up to. And that one it was down 10% because that was cruising back down to the 50. This one never even crossed down. I have a feeling. And this one went from, wow, it went from like 70 to 50 in the blink of an eye. This one's going to roll off that MACD and really go bonkers this time, I bet. So keep your eye on Bonk on crypto. We certainly will. I know that. So we will keep our eye on that bad boy as well. And let's keep on cruising through some of these guys, and then we'll hit some big caps and see what our Mag 7 was up to. So let's see what SMSI was up to today. And that was at Smith Micro Software. We were super early, and this thing is still trying to run higher. I still think it might get higher than that, or not think. I think it will get higher than that 148. It was just kind of taking its time, but it looks like it's ready to start moving again tomorrow. So keep your eye on that bad boy tomorrow as well, because it looks like it wants to go up. HRYU. Let's see what that one's doing. That's from South Korea. It was up 3.5%, and it was looking good today. I'm telling you, the 50 and 20 were looking good, and it was looking really solid right there. So keep your eye on that as well in the morning because it's looking really good. VCIG. Let's look at that one. Was up 3.5% over 3.5. And this one's right there. I mean, the 50 or the 20 tried to cut it yesterday, and I think tomorrow it gets right up over there. It was over today, but it has to get over 14 cents. It's just underneath of it, and this thing's gonna rock it right off VCIG. So I would keep my eye on that tomorrow as well. And if it doesn't run tomorrow, we're gonna be getting set up with that one for next week. And our buddy Maxon, let's look at that MAXN. Let's see what that one's doing. It was down, I mean, ever so slightly. It was up more in the after hours, and this one is getting right in that right spot, guys. So I would not be surprised if MAXN is bumped up tomorrow and trying to run. So STX Confidential, I know he always asks about it. Keep your eye on this bad boy in the morning, you web bowlers. Watch your Maxon in the morning, MAXN, because that one could actually be moving tomorrow. It's right there in the right spot. And all it takes is a little curl. And I have a feeling with that dock workers, extending now, not being on strike, you're going to see a crazy market. I don't think Israel's doing anything crazy as of right now. We have no idea what's going to go on in the middle of the night, but as long as you get through the middle of the night and they don't do anything, it's probably going to open pretty green just from the dock workers strike being extended there. And yeah, we should see these bad boys that we're setting up try to get cruising. So could see a crazy Friday tomorrow. And again, we just don't know what's going on in the Middle East, so everybody's keeping an eye on that, and we know that, but we'll just have to, play it by ear with that. We have no idea what's going to happen in the middle of the night. We can only tell what the charts look like at the moment. So and we'll be on at 7 a.m. for pre-market, so we'll know what's happening anyway. So EJH, let's look at it. This one looks like it's pulling back right here some more. So it was trying to curl up, and now it looks like it's pulling back. We'll look at it tomorrow, see if it wants to reverse its track. WTO, that's another one we were looking at, and I mean, it's curled through the MACD. I think this one's gonna have to wait for that 20 to get down to it. And it's at 65 cents, and this is at 43. It's just riding that line though, so but doesn't look like it wants to pop up anytime soon. It is a China stock though, so maybe it will. I'll keep my eye on this just for that simple fact that it is a China stock and and we know what they're doing right now, but it doesn't immediately look like it wants to pop. The MACD's crossed through and it's just running up there, but again, we see it all the time and they just kind of pull back a little bit. That's what it looks like, but maybe it will try to reverse around. Holo, HOLO, that one's back to 26 cents. Just couldn't keep going up, and that's why you gotta really play them smart because the other day it was in the 40s, like almost 47 cents. Now it's back to 27, sitting at that 20, and could be pulling back some more. I think it is going to try to pull back a little bit tomorrow, so I'll watch it to see if the chart wants to turn any. Actually, let me look at Holo on mine, see if it did anything in the after hours. It didn't look it looks a little better in the after hours at that 27 right there. Let me see, where's that at? Right there. Not too bad. Okay, it looked better in the after hours holo. So that worked out. It did say it was up like 3%. It dropped down like 23% today. And but yeah, again, we knew it was popping up there and it did. And now it's coming down. And I don't think it's gonna pop tomorrow, so we'll just watch it again, set up, and you can play it again for like the 15th time. So that's Holo, and we've been pretty accurate on that, I must say. NDRA, let's see it. That one's up a 0.5% and probably about 2% all day. And it's trying to just wait for this 20 to get to it, I guess. It's at 22 cents now, and this thing's at 20 cents. Yesterday it was at 23. The 20 was, so it is creeping down. I believe it was right around there. It was a little higher, I can tell, I remember. And so it's getting pretty close to it. So maybe next week might have to be NDRA's week. So we'll watch that for next week as well. CURR, this one was trying to this was not making a fish hook up. I was wrong. But this one actually looks like today was its bottom at 224 right there, pulling back. It's 20s up there, 269. This is at 230. Interesting look right there from today. I have to look at this tomorrow as well. I'm not sure what that wants to do. CURR. Let's see. I kind of feel like it wants to bounce off of that right there. So watch this one tomorrow. CURR. See if it wants to move tomorrow. Just gonna put a dot next to that just to take a look at it, see what it's up to. SYRS. This was up a penny and then down a little bit in the after hours. It did run up to 203. Its low is 189. And this is that one I'm telling you, something's going on. Some more crazy looks as it's sitting on the 20. Watch this thing tomorrow, guys. SYRS. It wants to do something. I know that. And this is the one that had insider buying. I can look at this chart all day. I just love it. Well, it's just crazy to me. So keep your eye on SYRS. It did run up the other day. It pulled back, and I think it's ready to roll again. So I would keep my eye on it. And FTFT was looking good yesterday. Let's see. Um, Wow, it pulled back a little bit, but honestly, it's not a bad one right there. Your 50 and 20 are going to meet there tomorrow, probably on a Friday. And it did run up the other day on the 27th to 42 cents. It's sitting at 34 right now. But guess what? That thing isn't looking too bad either. I think we might have a bounce off on that FTFT. So I'm going to mark that bad boy as well. RMCF, let's see that. RMCF, let's see it. Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory down a penny, down a little more in the after hours, just kind of flat, doesn't look bad at all. Um, Almost had 955 in volume. It's getting lower, I think. Holy cow, that's crazy. RMCF, I guess they're not going to see a run on it because looks like that run was at that 204 maybe. And again, that volume is a great setup right there. Just can't get the volume for whatever reason. It's not even like an OTC or anything. I guess it's just nobody knows about this bad boy, but it still doesn't even look bad. Watch it just pop out of nowhere tomorrow and get a million in volume. But yeah, I mean, it still doesn't look too bad. Just sitting right there. I want to see it on here. Yeah, just just a little healthy pullback. It went up and just kind of pulled back where it wasn't even bad. So but yeah, you could see it has like no volume at all. It's pretty wild at 955. At least yesterday it had over 3,000. Today it literally had under 1,000. That's pretty wild. RMCF, no one wants to trade it, huh? So you gotta be careful with that because it's hard to sell them sometimes like that. So just an example though, like the setup's great. You look at it and then it has like under 1,000 in volume. You got to be careful with them guys just because again, there's only so many people buying and selling. There's volumes only 1,000. So 500 sold and 500 bought and it's under that because it's under that. So you got to be careful and make sure that you can make that trade anyway, and it can be bought or sold. So sometimes them real low volume ones, they'll get you again. This one was set up and it came off the scanner. Usually when you see them, they get set up and get the volume. That's why I never worry. And it has moved up since we've seen it. So I mean, it's not like it's down at all. But it should have ran better. That's what I'm trying to say. And it just never got the volume it should have, but that's all right. RMCF, URG, watch, I guess I watched tomorrow just pop out of nowhere. But URG was looking great and then it just pulled back a little bit. But I don't think this one's done either. I think it was just some pullback today. This is at Uranium Company, and holy cow, it's coming back to touch the line. And let me see what it did in the after hours because this one. Yeah, this one should roll right off. I don't see why it even pulled back today. Um, no idea, but it came back down to the 20 like perfectly. And then your hard support or yeah, your hard support and your 50 are both down at 112, ready to rock and roll. So I would just say it was some healthy pullback today for URG and nothing that crazy, but we'll look at that in the morning just to make sure. FAMI down a penny and then just kind of pulling back more healthy than anything. The 20 is right below it at 24 cents, hooking up to it. So this one's a China one that could really get moving as well. So as the China ones want to continue to move, this one could run with them. So LIDR. That one we looked at yesterday, it was up a little bit to 120. It opened at 113. Its low is 111 and it's at 115 and looks really good for tomorrow. And I had this at the top of the list yesterday. It just ended up I did the list a little bit differently. So or 2 days ago, I guess it was. I remember I had it at the yep, it was the very first one for the debate night, LIDR, and it was looking nice 2 nights ago. I knew it was gonna get set up, and boom, here we go. And I just happened to do the list a little bit backwards today, so there you go. But this one's looking great, LIDR, and there we go with that one. ONMD. We looked at that yesterday as well, and it did look good. It is rolling off the MACD. It got out of the basement a little bit right there. 20's coming down for it. It's not too far away. It's at like 68. This is at 60. They jump up there, and it is bullish up there. I'd watch this bad boy. It looks really good. And what? Yesterday they announced a board member transition to drive growth post IPO. So there you go. And they had a private placement back in September, and they usually roll after. I mean, they usually obviously pull back right after a private placement. You don't want to be buying it right there, but let it set back up, and it is. So this one could be getting set up and running tomorrow and next week as well. ONMD. So you want to keep your eye on that one as well. And GOSS, that was looking really nice. It was down 4 cents up to, oh man, this one looks really good right there. Just playing bouncy bounce. And I don't see why it wouldn't want to get set up for next week, especially. Had over 2 million in volume. Keep your eye on this one. I think next week that one's a blast offer. So GOSS you want to keep an eye on. Let's look at AIMD. AIMD down a penny, down two right there, just kind of pulling back today. It looked a little healthy as that 20's coming through to curl up on it. It looked great yesterday. Keep your eye on this one as well. It's 50's like right there at 58 cents. It's sitting at 54, 51 in the after hours. Their 20's right there at 51. So it's sitting right on it. So I'd expect that one to try to move as well. And that is AIMD. So yeah, keep your eye on that one. Let's look at AUMN. AUMN, Golden Minerals. This was up almost 2% down a little bit. It did run the other day on the 27th up to that 43 cents. Pulled back, but made a base, and now your 20 is going to hook back up to it. Your 50's at 32, and I have a feeling this one's going to get rolling again. AUMN. So if you want to look at this one, I think it was just a little bit of healthy pullback as it's setting up and not even pulling back, just kind of on the chart more or less today and looking good right there as that 20 starting to curl up on it. So that one's looking nice as well. BMRA, Biomerica, this one down a penny. We were looking at it. Thought it was gonna really get cruising. It's not. It's right there. It just didn't move today. Was down a hair, but still looks good. The 20 is still right there, and yeah, I could see this thing getting curled up for next week. Just try to stay above that. All it has to do is stay above where it was today, really at that 32 cent area, and its low is in the 32 and a half. So as long as it stays above 32 and a half, it's solid for tomorrow and next week. And that's at Biomerica, BMRA, and we'll root for that one. So let's see it move. CNEY, let's see that one. CN Energy Group. This is a China energy one that ran not long ago. September 11th it ran, then it pulled back and it ran the other day to $1.27. It's at 76 cents. I don't know. It looks like it wants to pull back some. Its 20's coming up. It's at 55. I'm just not sure if it really wants to move tomorrow. Yeah, I mean it doesn't appear to at the moment. We'll just say that there's better ones than CNEY at the moment. And again, it could set up, but it's not right now. QCUE up 8 cents. We looked at this last night and the last few nights and said it was basing and gonna start moving right there. And there you go. Q Biopharma CUE. And that one ran up to like what, 87, 88 cents. CUE, it ran up to 88 cents. It opened at 72, and we knew that was going to move. And you can look for that tomorrow to be another momentum play right there, QCUE. And that was another one on the list that we looked at the last 2 days and is moving. EVA, I mean, there's just so many of them. We've been just like crushing them, like cracking them out of the park, literally like nonstop. Like I said, every day there's at least three or four, and then you just go through this list of them all, and I'm like, yeah, we did that last night and said it was going to move, and they're up at least 10%, some of them. I mean, they're all over the place, but we are just smashing them, and we know the look that they need to have, and most of them aren't tricking us anymore. So we got rid of all the ones that were kind of fooling us before, and now it's just zeroed in and nailing them. And so yeah, just you seen this week, we were pretty confident, and we should just crush it for the rest of the time. And hopefully the market continues to move in the right direction. That's all we can hope for. So here we go, EVA. Let's look at it and see what it wants to do. That's what we care about. And this one is setting up real nice. It was real good yesterday. I remember looking at Eva, saying it was looking pretty good, and it jumped up a little bit today, and it looks even better to keep running tomorrow. So keep your eye on Eva as well. At HYFM, that's at Hydro Farm Holdings. This was down 2 cents. Let's see. Oh, this one was in the right spot too, but it looks like it was pulling back. I don't know what happened to it, but holy cow, it was looking really good right there to try to move and maybe even tomorrow try to reverse. I have to see what it do in the after hours. HYFM, I'm not sure why it pulled back like that, but it did. It crawled down and let's see. No news there. That's weird. That one was looking really good actually. So see if this, I'm curious as to what that does in the morning. So I'm just gonna mark it for the morning to look at because I'm really just curious more than anything. Why it pulled back like that. We already did the BTCT, the BTC Digital, and that one is looking good to roll off that MACD and move a little higher. XPON, let's look at that one up 3.5, a little over 3.5%, almost 4% on the day. And it is, I think yesterday was its bottom. We were saying that at 4 cents down there. It's in the fours now, but it was at 4 cents exactly. Right now in the after hours, it's at 0.0485. And it looks like it wants to roll off that MACD. At 20 is coming down to it though. It's at 6 cents. But this one would basically have to reverse split or something or go bankrupt before it the 20 can knock it down some more. I don't think it's coming down any more than this, much more than this, I was gonna say. And yeah, you're setting up to try to run right there. So I think XPON is getting into that spot right there, and it's way down there, like I said, at 4 cents. its low yesterday was exactly 4 cents, and you're still in the fours. So we're at that low, and it should try to start to curl up and make at least another run right there. So we'll keep our eye for that next week, XPON, because that could be setting up for next week. EZGO, let's see it. It was looking good last night, and this is another China stock, and it did. It ran up a little bit, 147. It opened at 139. Its low is 136. It's at 142 right now, and I'm telling you what, this thing is setting up to be super bullish. So keep your eye on this. It did curl through. Looks good there. Easy go. Let's look if it's going to be an easy go there. The after hours weren't so hot for it though, huh? We'll have to see that one in the morning. It ran up to 148. Its low is 133, and that's where it closed at. Um, and mine's giving a better look than Finviz, so I'm gonna have to go with mine, obviously, because Finviz is saying it curled through and it wants to go high, and this one's saying it curled through and it's riding the line, and I believe it. So we'll have to look at EZGO and just make sure that it does want to crawl. I mean, it is bullish, but it could pull back, and your 20 is right at like 135, but it has some hard support there at 127. So it could pull back in between there and then get rolling again. So we'll look at that one. APOG, this one has its earnings, I believe tomorrow it is. Yep, October 4th, tomorrow's earnings on this guy. And it's just coming back to that line. Um, let's try to get an idea. We looked at it last night. I forget. I didn't even mark down. I marked down the other two. STZ and ANGO, but I didn't even say anything about this, or at least I didn't mark it. I don't remember, but it does. It looks like it wants to come back down to that 67.45. It's at 68.77 in the after hours. Um, so we'll see. It's about to hit that line, and it is hard to tell with the earnings. It could just stick itself on that line, and but it almost looks like it wants to come hit that line and come through it a little bit anyway. So we'll just look at that one tomorrow just because it has its earnings. Let's look at STZ real quick. What did I say yesterday? Earnings going. I have the arrows pointing down. You ready? Down $12.02, down over four, almost 5% right there. It's a $243 stock. But there you go. I think I called that one on the money right there, I would say. Um there we go with that one. And let's look at ANGO. I said that was going to go up. That was in earnings. Oh, that went down a dot. Whoa, that went down too. So I missed that one, but we got the other one. Oh, that one took a nasty dip down. That one was looking good anyway, but nope. That the earnings were green. Surprise, some 31%. I never even look at this, but it looked pretty green, and it took a dip. You know what we want to do? ANGO we want to look at tomorrow, because I don't know why it took that dip right there on them earnings. They don't look that bad, to be honest with you. But ANGO you might want to look at. So yeah, I would take a good look at that one. The other one, what was it? STZ. I'm not sure that one's gonna bounce right back. That one looked like it was just coming back down. Yeah, that one's coming back down. But ANGO, let me look at it on mine. Yeah, it just took that big hard dip down, and I wonder what happened to it. Besides, it had earnings, but ANGO, yeah, that's it. Ango. Um, why is crashing here? I have to open this up because I'm just kind of curious. It says why is it crashing, and I want to know. So let's see. We're crashing 17% lower. It's 10:43 a.m. The steep sell-off came after the medical technology company announced its fiscal 2025 first quarter update. Yeah, well, the net sales were 67 and a half, up 1.1% a year over year. The result was a little lower than the average analyst revenue estimates of 67.93 million. So they were at 67 and a half. They wanted them to be at 67.93, and it went down that much. The company posted a net loss of 12.8 million, so that would be that 31 cents per share. So that would definitely do it. And so there you go. Some good news. They submitted something to the FDA and boom, boom, boom. So yeah, they did post a net loss of $12.8 million. And so there you go. And that's probably why it came down, I'm sure. And but bam, I mean, it doesn't look bad at all. It looked great yesterday, actually. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one to see if it does want to bounce. And boom, there you go with that one. And that is ANGO. And let's take a look. Is that oh, there you go. Yeah, that's exactly ANGO right there. Yep, there you go. I'll repost that out, guys. You guys can look at the earnings. And like I said, I had some a surprise. It was 25% and then down there negative 442. So you can see the numbers, you can see what the reported and the estimate was and what their earnings and everything, the revenue and all. So I'll repost that real quick. Thank you, Laptop Travel. And there you go. And yep, ANGO. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that bad boy and just see if it wants to bounce back up tomorrow, ANGO, because it didn't look too bad. So we'll just look at it, and if it doesn't bounce tomorrow, it's getting into the basement, and we'll definitely catch that on that bounce. So there you go, and they were the earnings for yesterday, and there you go, an APOG. What did I even say? You can't even get an idea. If I had to guess, I'm saying it's going down. So here we go. We'll play this game with earnings. I'll put my arrow down. APOG. You guys can play along and see what you guys think. So you can look at APOG to have earnings tomorrow, and you can see what you think. We can do that next week and see how it goes. I'll see how. So obviously, some of the days have like a ton of them, but like days like today and yesterday, there was only a couple. It was easy. So there we go. LAZR. Let's look at that one. Um, LAZR. Ooh, just coming down right there. Not looking bad. It might pull back a little bit. Let me see what it did in the after hours real quick. LAZR. Yeah, I mean it could easily just roll off. It's just right there where it can, and the 20 is right there where it can do almost anything. So I'll look at that in the morning just to get a better idea, but it could definitely roll off of there for sure. Um, TMC is that metals company. Oh, this one looks crazy. This one looks wild, actually. I know we looked at it before and it did run up, I guess September 16th. I remember when it ran up some TMC, and now we're looking at it again with this crazy, crazy look. I mean, wow. Holy cow, you're 20 and 50, you're going to hit. I would think that tomorrow is going to be something weird for this thing, and it should be good. I would look at that. I'm going to put a big asterisk next to TMC. I'm not sure what's happening there, but something looks strange, and I like when it looks strange like that. So TMC, I'm going to check that out, and you guys can look at it and see why it looks strange as well. FCEL, let's take a peek at that one. That one's just pulling back there. And let's see. I think FCEL might have to pull back a little bit right here. Yeah, I think it might have to pull back a hair. We can watch that one. It does have that look like today it wanted to be its low, but I'm not exactly sure. It does have that hard support behind it, and your 20 is coming down at 42. This is at 36, and your hard support up there and your 20 are meeting up too as well, or your hard resistance and your 20 or 50 are meeting up as well. And just an interesting one. I say it pulls back a little bit more. It would rather be right off that bottom. So maybe today was its bottom. Tomorrow it'll just kind of try to get the reverse going, and then next week it can set up. So we'll look at FCEL, see how it plays out tomorrow. AUUD. That was one we were looking at before. It was down 2 cents. It was kind of just dipping down. We seen it when it ran up that one time. And then today, or yesterday, it looked like it was its bottom at 60, 55 cents. I'm sorry. Its high was 63. Its low is 55. And then today it got up to 64 and its low is 60. And it's trying to curl up there, but it's in that place where they do like to bounce down. But this one has that support and the 20 above it. This one might actually roll. It has this 20 at 74, the support underneath of it and it's rolling up there. I mean, it very well could. So we were looking at it last week. I would like to take a look at that one tomorrow as well again, and that is AUUD, and we'll see what that's going to do. SPRC, let's see that one. Down 3%, up 2.5 in the after hours. Still just pulling back, so we'll let that pull back for a hair, and then we'll definitely take a look at that one again. LGMK was at logic mark. That was looking decent. I remember the other day it kind of ran up and then it just fell apart. I remember it was right here on the 25th and 26th, and then it started dipping down. Well, now it's hitting. I think it rolls off the MACD. I think right now it's spot 13 and a half. And again, it was up in the what 30 cent. What was it at? 17-cent range not long ago the other day. Now we're at 13 cents. So watch LGMK for tomorrow to try to roll up and start rolling again. That one's not looking bad at all. LGMK. Also, let's see. LGMK ANY. Let's look at it. ANY any. Does it have any idea what it wants to do here? Wow, that's an interesting one. I think this one has to roll off the MACD if it has any chance of staying alive. But what an interesting one for sure. Holy cow. I'm gonna look at any in the morning, but it looks like it wants to try to roll off of there, curl up and move. I could be completely off my rocker with this one, so I'm not going to tell you to really check it out right at the moment. Um, I want to just see what it wants to do, just because it has a crazy look coming down there, and and it's just sitting on that 20 right there, and very interesting. So coming down hard on the MACD, sitting on that 20. Your 50s at like 89 cent area, 90, 89, 80, 89 or 90. Can't even talk. And yeah, it's very interesting. So I want to look at that bad boy just to get a better idea of what it wants to do. And that's ANYCISS. That's another one we looked at. C3, 3CIS Inc. Marine shipping and Greece. Let's see. Oh, this one looks really good for tomorrow. Had some momentum yesterday, sitting in the right spot today. 57,000 in volume, but looking really nice right there. CISS, that's another one we were looking at before. What, 116 in the after hours? It opened at 118. Its low is 113. It closed at 116. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's sitting right in the right spot. A little pullback right there, but nothing crazy. I would look at this in the morning as well. CISS, COCP. That's a healthcare, right? Biotech company. That's it. Um, yeah, Co Crystal Pharma. I've traded this one before. I think during COVID, I think this one was running before, but it's setting up really nice right there. I'll tell you that. It's crawling off the MACD. Everything's crawling up and setting up. COCP is looking really good. You guys want to check that one out for sure. Could be a starting to set up tomorrow and run for next week. DDC, that's at DDC Enterprises, and that's another one we were looking at before it popped up and now it came back down. And now it's sitting in the right spot again. It tried to run up yesterday, pulling back today, and it is stair stepping up though. So I have a feeling this one's going to try to get moving again. Maybe it's not tomorrow, but next week it will. And that's DDC ENG. Let's look at that bad boy. Down 9 cents and just coming back to the MACD and looks like it wants to kind of bounce off of there. Just a crazy look. I'd have to look at that one again. That's just a crazy one. GREE. Let's look at that. GREE up 8 cents. And that one looks really good. You want to look at that one tomorrow. Put an asterisk next to GREE. It's rolling off the 20, curling up nice. Everything looks nice. HCTI. Yeah, HCTI Healthcare Triangle up 4 cents. Another one curling up looking really good. Another one, that one should be rolling as well. So take a look at HCTI. That one looks really good. HPH, let's see that highest. Oh, that's that HPH one. It did finally run up the other day. I don't know if we even mentioned it, but it got up to $1.48. It was moving. I think we might have mentioned it. I kind of remember. And it's pulled back onto the 20 again. I'm not exactly sure if it wants to roll once again up there. I would have to look at that in the morning to get a better idea at HPH. But that's one that we were looking at, and it did bounce before. IKT, this one was up. Oh, this one's in a good spot too, honestly. Yeah, I would take a look at IKT. It's right there. So I'm gonna mark that one. Um, JNVR. I can't even read my writing now. JNVR. Hold on, let me get that one. JNVR. Oh, well, let's do NVR because that's what I typed in. So NVR is at $9,636. It's NVR Inc. It's a residential construction company, and it's way at the top there. It looks like it's coming down at the moment. So you just beware. It was down 96.57 today, but it wasn't even a percent. So if you're trading this one at $9,636.06, I feel like it's going to come back down to your 20 tomorrow, and that will probably be right around 9,000, where like 9,500, right around there. So look for it at $9,500 NVR. And so yeah, that's that one. But let's do the other one that I was trying to get to, and that is JNVR, and that is Janover. Here we go. I know I was just messing around laptop travel. I messed the J, so NVR just happened to pop up, and I figured I'd just roll with it because it was a really expensive stock. So it was definitely a big cap, let's say that. But JNVR, here we go. That one's interesting for sure. Coming down hard on the MACD, but you're 20 and 50, you're meeting up, and then it's got some hard support under it, has hard resistance over it, and it's hitting it. This one's a crazy one, huh? JNVR, let me look at it. Hold on. Yeah, I'd have to look at this tomorrow to see if it wants to come through that MACD. I can't really tell on that one, to be honest with you. It's that's almost a coin flip right there. So we'd have to look at that one to get a better idea. We looked at LIDR because I remember we already said that one looks beautiful. So we don't even need to do that one. MBOT, uh, Microbot Medical. Let's see, that's down a percent. Oh, that one's looking real trying to set up real nice. Has that hard support coming down the 20s, like right there with it. And the 50s all the way up here at 94. Not that high up, but it's at 90. But does want to move. So MBOT, looking decent. There's a few others that look a little better, but that's definitely set up right there. What was its volume? I feel like it was low, 31,000. That's it. If it could get some volume, MBOT would definitely be a mover. MLEC, let's see that one. MLEC, Moolic Sciences, down a penny. Let's see. That's got an interesting look today as well. And just kind of hooked its eye. I have to look at this tomorrow. MLEC, that one looks interesting as well. What was that volume at? I have to look. Hold on. But interesting for sure. Holy cow. Coming down on that line, really, really interesting in the after hours. 16,000 in volume. So yeah, it's definitely low, but I mean it's trying to jump around there. It went from it's opened at 88 and it got down to 80. And yeah, it's got a weird look, MLEC, so we'd have to check that one out. NXU, I know that's NXU Inc. And let's see, up 3 cents. This one actually ran today to 35 cents. Um, I don't know if it's just that look. I'm not so sure it's going to keep on moving. Obviously, if it's running hard in the morning, it would be a momentum play at NXU, but with that look, I'm not exactly sure. Snacks and yeah, and SNAX. Yeah, I think my brain's fried. SNAX is snacks, and let's just see. That one's rolling off too. Yeah, that one's got to roll off. It's got a nice setup, and this one's going to set up pretty bullish down the road, probably a week or two out, probably 2 or 3 weeks out. But as it sets up, it's going to bounce around a lot. So this one could be a good one to look at to trade because it has a lot of bouncing in it, and it's going to move around as it sets up. SOPA, SOPA, that one actually is looking pretty healthy there. Hold on. That's curling up real nice. I think this has to curl off that MACD tomorrow. Let me see what it did in the after hours. Oh, it coming down on that line. That one's going to be an interesting one, too, honestly. SOPA. We'll have to look at that one in the morning. UBX, let's look at that. Up a penny. Oh, this one's setting up really good. Take a look at UBX. That one could be running in the morning right there. So take a look at that. And U. Universal Security Instruments was up 8 cents. This one ran up to its top, right, or not its top. It ran up to its resistance at $1.35, and that's basically where it's at in the after hours. And if it has momentum, if it's green in the morning, if it's up over 135 UUU, it's going to be a UUU runner. So just watch that one if it's up there. And XBP up 12. Oh, this one looks hot. Down 3 cents in the after hours, but it looks like it has some momentum right there. Just keep it up over that 113, and it came down to 112 in the after hours, but XBP, if it stays up over that 113, it can move for us. And there you go with them. The only thing we did not do are our big cappers, and we'll roll through them guys real quick. And then I know that there's all kinds of good stuff. I forgot the baseball playoffs are on, and so I know a lot of people are probably hopping off to see them games. The Mets actually won the series, so that was crazy. They won 4-2, and I know the football game's on, so I know people are watching that and everything else. So here we go. Let me cruise through the big caps. Appreciate everybody checking us out and hanging out all the time. So here we go. Let's check out our big caps and see what they're up to. We'll roll through our meme stocks. Let's look at GME, GameStop. It was pulling back a hair. We thought it was. Let's see if it's going to hit this MACD and try to get back to normal again. At the moment, it looks like it wants to pull back. AMC was in the 440s, and I think now it's going to start moving, guys. So we're going to start looking at it and see if it can get curled up here. I didn't say we're gonna buy it yet, but we're gonna look at it tomorrow. Tomorrow's a Friday. Let's just see what it wants to do. And I'm telling you, it's gonna set up super bullish. It's gonna get up over the 550s, and it's in the 440s. So it'll run up over $1 really soon. So we'll catch it when it does. And CHWY, good old Chewy, is was up a little bit, just pulling back. I don't maybe yesterday was its bottom there at 27.65. Has a weird look today, so we'll have to take a look at it tomorrow. I kind of feel like it's going to pull back some. And let's see what the SPY did. That was down $1.04, obviously, because everything was kind of red, but it did crawl down. And it looks like it might have to come down to that 564. And that's what I was saying the other day. I said it needed to come back down there and make some room on the chart so it can set up to be super bullish there. So let's roll through these bad boys and see what's going on. Let's look at NVDA. That was up $4, and that was rolling off the MACD. We said it this morning and last night. We knew it was going to get rolling, and it should get up to that 126 tomorrow as well. So I would assume Nvidia is going to keep on cruising tomorrow, and let's see what Apple wants to do. Apple wants to. It was coming down. It's sitting right there, hitting that line. Apple's a hard one to tell, but I feel like it's going to try to bounce off that line. I don't think it wants to go through right there. Let me look on mine and see what it did in the after hours. Yeah, I kind of feel like Apple's going to just kind of roll flat and just get set up to get moving next week. Let's see what Google's up to. That one was down 10 cents, but again, just super bullish here and should try to roll back up, I think. So I think Google's either flat or just barely moving up right there. Amazon, AMZN, let's see it down 280. We knew this was coming down, and I think it does come down a little more into the 179s. And so Amazon, I think we come back down a little bit more on Amazon, and that's fine to set up again. Meta, that one went up to its all-time high, I think, at 582. I think um what the heck's his name? Holy cow. I can't even think of his name. What Zuckerberg? I couldn't think of Zuckerberger's name, but I think he just surpassed Bezos as like the number two richest person today. So there you go. And he all changed his appearance. I think he knew what was going on. I knew it was going on when it was in the 80s 2 years ago. So I said it was gonna get cruising, and I had it. Trust me. And yeah, 582 right now. It went up 996, and it is cruising. So I'm amazed it keeps running up in the top, but they had something happening today, and I'm not sure honestly what it was. There's way too much news, but they had something going on, and it keeps going up there. So we'll have to wait for it to come out of the top again. So it should run up some more, I think, because it doesn't look like it's done. And Microsoft, let's look at that one, down 59 cents. We knew this one was coming down, probably coming down just a hair more to right there to the 412. It's at 416, and came down to 414 today. So Microsoft should pull back, and let's look at our Tesla right there. It definitely was down $8. It's on that 20, and I think it might cross through, come down a little bit, and come back down into the 230s. Oh, it is in the after hours, 239. It could come down into the 220s again, Tesla. So we'll watch that one as well. And it could pull itself up, but I think it goes down. And that is our Mag 7, and I think Nvidia and Google and Meta are going up, and Google could be flat, Apple could be flat, and Amazon, Microsoft, and Tesla are trying to pull back a little bit. So there you go, Mag 7. Let's look at Nike, see what it's up to. That was down $1 at 82.10, and just pulling back, and you got the support right there at 81 and 80. So watch it pull back to that, and then we can hit Nike back on the way up because it will be pretty bullish again. Rivian, that one's going to get set up, and we're just waiting for it. And I think it's finally getting ready to. Yesterday could have been its bottom there, 1044, and that's a great price for Rivian considering it's been in the 13s and the 15s and everything up higher. So let's see where it wants to go. I think it's going to start moving, so we'll keep our eye on that. And we do look at it anyway. But yeah, it's getting ready to start setting up, and that line will come down right about there, right around like $11. Once it gets around 11, it's going to try to start moving next week. So we'll keep our eye on that. PLTR. This one just keeps what I tell you yesterday. Keep it on there for a momentum this morning, and bam, it flew up some more. It went up to like $39. It's basically sitting at its high, 39.25, 39.29, and looks like it wants to run into the top even more. So it's crazy. Look at it for a momentum in the morning. Sophie was up. Oh, Sophie's setting up again. Just let it pull back just a hair, or just even run flat there, but setting up super bullish. So that one's going to be good. Oxy, that was up $1.35. We knew this was going up. I mean, that yesterday was just a little healthy pullback, and then bam, it's going up. Snow, that one, remember I was saying this thing looks like it wants to roll off. I think it does. And I think Snow is going to have a blizzard going on. So check out Snow. It should be looking good. Dell, up $2, and starting to it curled down, and it could make like a really crazy curl up real fast because this thing's setting up super bullish as well. And like I keep telling you, like these things are just getting bullish as heck. So AMD, this thing's ready to curl off the MACD and just get cruising up there, and it'll get up to the 170s. It's at the 162 mark, and that's AMD. NIO, that thing is coming down, so we can kind of take that off at the moment. That ran up like crazy for us. Space SPCE down 20 cents into the 580s, and let's see. Oh, it's definitely not curling up that time. So it did hit that line, hit the MACD and pull back. So we're going to watch for it to set up again. And maybe the next time it'll probably get through now that it's way down there. So we'll wait for space to set back up right there. And let's look at our buddy INTC because it's just pulling back, but setting up our 20 and our 50 are meeting up there. And it looks like it's going to try to curl off and get rolling. So I would expect it to get moving back to the 30s really soon, INTC. So keep a look at that one. Disney, that was down 52 cents, and another one just pulling back to that MACD. It could cross down right there, come down to the 92 or the 90s, and it's at 93.50, and then get set up to run again. SMCI, that one split the other day. What was it, 2 days ago? Yeah, 2 days ago. And it looks like it wants to roll off that MACD and get cruising right there. So keep an eye on that to get moving into the 52 area. It's at 41. And let's look at oh yeah, Mara, let's look at that bad boy up 26. Oh yeah, they're just sitting there. So I think crypto is going to try to get cruising. This thing does look like it wants to roll off that MACD again. And it's not looking bad. I know Riot was looking better yesterday. It was up 18 cents and looks really good to roll. So Riot is going to get moving. And I think crypto is going to roll back right now. DJT up 36 cents at 617. And I'm telling you, this thing is about to get cruising, guys. So keep your eye on DJT, like I was telling you, in the 13s. And it's going to get moving. PHUN, it's going to get fun. I'm telling you, PHUN is about to get fun. So keep your eye on it. And ExxonMobil, we know that was setting up the run, and it sure did. Got up to the 122s, and we knew it was. So there you go with that one. And Coin, that one was pulling back a little bit, but this is going to roll off the MACD as well. It's just coming down to it, and the 20 is going to pull it up. So I think this one's going to get set up as crypto does. Like I said, I think crypto is going to look better. BlackRock, this actually came down $5, but it's still at 951, and it ran up like crazy yesterday into like the 957s. So let's see, it is pulling back. We'll watch BlackRock actually pull back real quick, and then we'll catch it on the next time. It may even have to cross through the MACD. It would be perfect if it came back into like the 918s. We'll catch it and run it back up over 951. We'll run it back over to 960. So we're gonna definitely be playing BlackRock because it's crazy. And Levi had their earnings the other day. What day was it? The first, was it the second? So it was yesterday they had earnings, and it had dipped. It was in the top. It came down, and it's hitting that line right now. I think Levi is gonna try to pull back a little bit. Let me take a look. Yeah, I mean, it's trying to bounce up, but I don't know if it's ready yet. And it came back down from what? It was at the oh, wow, it was at 2191. Oh, 2163 is its high, and then today its high was 1988, and it opened at 1869. So it definitely pulled back, and it looked like it had decent earnings as well, but I guess not. I'm not exactly sure, not really looking into them, but and there you go at Levi Strauss. And yeah, the market, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Tesla, they were all basically red. Google was flat, Meta and Nvidia were up. And that is what our market looked like. And there we go. Let me just let you know, Asian shares fall. Oil set for weekly gains on Mideast risks. Oil rally stalls. Investors shift focus to U.S. job report. That's coming up. The docker workers union agrees to suspend the port strike until January 15th to provide time to negotiate for a new contract. And boom, 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 the Dow falls, the oil prices jump, and they suspend the strike. So they were the five stories on FinViz for our news. And there you go. I would say that's a pretty good late live show right there. We just covered everything in the market. Crypto, big caps, these Mag 7, all the poppers and everything. And I'll just tell you what we're looking at really quick. Give me 1 second. All right, here you go. You ready? BTC2 is looking good. LUXH. Obviously we're looking at that Yang. PETS should be a momentum play for you. Look for BDMD to try to bounce. ADTX had the reverse split, so look for that. LCTX was looking good. SMSI was trying to move up. HRYU, VCIG, and Maxon all looking good. SYRS again looking good. ONMD, GOSS looking good. CUE ran today and it was still looking good, and so did EVA. And I'm gonna look at that HYFM because it was strange. TMC looked really good as well. Logic Mark, LGMK, and COCP. There's a couple more. That GREE looked good. HCTI. And there you go. They all looked decent tonight. So there you go. I would say that's really nice. And boom, that was our live show. So thank you everybody for hanging out. Profit Logics, RD, Joe P, Elena, Sinister, For Force, and Sanaya, how are you this evening? Thank you for hanging out. I greatly appreciate it. And make sure you guys tune in tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. We'll do the pre-market show. You know that. Let me know if you want to see anything. I'm going to run through and make sure we didn't miss anything. So let me do that before we hop off. I just wanted to thank everybody. And will Lunar bounce off of here? Laptop Travel wants to know. Did we look at that? I forget, but it is on that 20. I don't know. I think it kind of falls back. Let me look at it on mine and get a better idea on LUNR. Um, I honestly think it falls down, laptop travel. That's what it looks like to me at the moment. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Would be interesting. The aerospace and defenses. I'll run through them actually tomorrow. We'll take a quick look at some of them. I'll just scroll and see if anything just catches my eye. Nothing real crazy right there. So they're not all like set up in the same spot. So I'll cruise through them as well. Here we go. Let me just see. Sinister for Force was just responding to something up there, so that's all right. And boom. Here we go. Anybody else need to see anything? JNVR. Yeah, I know. I saw you pop that up. Appreciate it. I did NVR because I missed the J and then we did JNVR. But if you look at NVR, that one's a pretty that's a big cap. NVR, it's at $9,636, and we went over that stock just because I went to put JNVR in and I missed the J. So there you go. And again, you guys know every time that I really don't. I write down a list and we go through them live, and I tell you what I see. So even if I put in the wrong stock ticker, I run through it, and you guys throw them at me all night. You won't all night long. You can throw me any of them, and I'll be more than happy to look at them. And so, I'm not really doing a whole lot of research ahead of time. We're trying to look at them and try to get an idea. Again, I do see some of them because I run through some of the lists, but you can throw me any and I'll look at them. And if I can't get a good look at it, I tell you, I'll look at it in the morning and definitely tell you what it's going to do. And that's what we do here on the live show. And we go through the entire market. It's fast paced, but I love it. And yeah, we cover everything from crypto to small caps to penny stocks, all the big caps, the Mag 7. And I mean, we nail it down completely. So, it's a beautiful thing. I enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoy it as well. I'll be back at 7 a.m. for pre-market. And thanks again for hanging out. And let me know if you want to see anything for tomorrow morning. I'd gladly go over it. And if you need me to look at anything else tomorrow, just send it over. So have a good night, everybody. And I will catch you guys in the morning. Thanks again for tuning in. Good night.